Okay, I think we are broadcast. I'm gonna just wait 1 or 2 minutes for people to get into the session.
Okay.
Okay, we are at 9:30. Welcome to our keynote panel of Getting Your Brand Story Out. I'm Leslie Lum, professor at Bellevue College. After this presentation at 10:30, we have Google presenting on tips and tools. At 11 o'clock, Professor Judith Paquette will be leading a panel of emerging entrepreneurs and how they're using digital tools. You don't have to be established to get real benefits from going more digital. At 11:30, we have a presentation about Facebook. Don't miss the afternoon where you'll be making valuable contacts for moving your business to the next level. In our previous session, we showed evidence that getting your story out to your past, current, and future customers is extremely important to your business. We're fortunate in that we have superstar entrepreneurs to tell us how they've gotten their brand to their customers, even during a pandemic. They are Brandon Tang of Kizuki Ramen and Izakaya, Ana Castro of Salvadorian Bakery, and an icon in the business community, Louis Rudd of Azal's Famous Chickens. What we need to understand is that anyone who sets out to create a business is incredibly courageous. For every Starbucks, Microsoft, or Amazon, there are many more businesses that don't survive. A business like Azal's at 37 years and counting is simply off the charts. Salvadorian Bakery at 26 years had a 16% chance compared to other businesses started the same year it did. Even Kizuki, 9 years old, not even a teenager, had a 36% chance of surviving. These are truly businesses that beat the odds. So I'm going to start off with the youngest of the bunch, Brandon Ting, whom I'm proud to say is an alumni of Bellevue College and went on to do his bachelor's at University of Washington Foster School, and then co-founded Kizuki Ramen and Izakaya, which now has 13 locations in Washington, Oregon, Indiana, and Illinois, with more opening locally. Look out for your local Kizuki, and is looking at Texas. Brandon, can you briefly describe what you were trying to do when you started Kizuki? You really had a clear vision of brand.
Hi everyone. This is Brandon. So when I started Kizuki, at the very beginning, I wanted to bring the real, authentic Japanese ramen to America, because I was born in I grew up in Taiwan, and I actually love the Japanese food, and our standards to food is very high there. So authenticity is the key, and that it was what was lacking in America, and I felt really sad, and I just wanted to make it happen. So in the very beginning, it started with the food. I wanted to have a very authentic Japanese ramen restaurant in the United States. I used to travel, all the way up to Vancouver for some really good Japanese ramen, and then I finally told myself, okay, I think Seattle needs one. And then later, when I look into like how to get the restaurant open, I was thinking about, when people in America think about ramen or think about Asian restaurant, most of the association will be the Chinatown restaurant style. There will be, hole in the wall, that kind of style. But Is it really true? Is it really the case in Asia? In the reality, in the most modern cities in Asia, restaurants are beautiful, and I really wanted to present that to people living in America. You know, those restaurants in Tokyo, in Taipei, in Hong Kong, in Shanghai, in Singapore, they are exciting, they are amazing. So that's why I actually went back to Taiwan, and then I found a really, really famous restaurant designer, and who was brave enough to take on a project in America. And then together, there was so many difficulties, but we overcame those difficulties, and then we present our restaurant, the environment, the vibe, just how it should be in Asia. So stepping into Kizuki, we want our customer to feel that let's step into Tokyo. That's the feeling that let's step into a restaurant in Tokyo. And then they will have the most authentic Japanese food, and then they can just enjoy the Japanese experience without flying to Japan. This is how my vision started. And also, the third thing I had in my mind is I wanted to have a restaurant which can scale. Because in order to do a business, in the very beginning, many people they will feel like restaurant is like a parent taking care of your kid. Like it has to be 24/7, right? So it is extremely challenged to open a second one or third one. Then how did I to what do I have to do in order to open a restaurant which can scale? That was also part of my vision. So that's why in the very beginning, I already started to put what I learned in business school and into use. So every night after I finish serving on the floor, serving customer, I'll be in front of computer and then start punching the training manual, SOP, standard operation procedure, every single step, everything I wish I could teach my employee, my team members. I started to do that. So that was the third element contributing to my business concept is I wanted this business to go far, and I wanted our restaurant can open multiple in America in the future.
So you were growing exponentially prior to COVID, right? It was really amazing to see what was happening. And then came lockdown. What happened, Brandon? What happened during lockdown?
Yeah, so right before COVID, it was a February, and we were just celebrating our February record was the highest in the history. And all of our office, everyone, our store manager, our every team member, we were all excited. And then two weeks later, there was a shutdown announcement. So all of a sudden, we we lost 80% of our sales. We went from the celebration of the sales record high. We went from hero to zero. So it was very, very, very difficult for us. We had a lot of team members, including part time. We were over 650 employees, and we look at each other. Suddenly the restaurant doesn't have any dining in customer, and all of our team members they were really panicked, and then they look at each other, and they just couldn't serve. They couldn't serve the purpose they came to join our company. And because of the loss, the entire business of dining in, which means 80%, which was 80% of our business, that means we had to lay off 80% of our employees. So 80% of our team member went on standby mode. And so it was very, very difficult. And I would say, uh, in order to survive, we really tried really hard. First of all, in order to let a company survive, the first thing I was thinking about is, okay, what about our team members? For people who know in the restaurant industry, our employees rely on tips from the customer. And when the dining business was gone, there was no more tip. When people ordered to go to delivery, when they tip, actually they went to the delivery company and the drivers. So restaurant workers, we don't really get anything. So our employees had a significant income decrease. So first thing we did was to raise their pay significantly, because we have to make sure we take enough care of them. So while we our company was facing a financial challenge, and everybody was thinking about pay cut, pay cut, pay cut. But first thing I knew, if the company wants to survive, the first thing I need to take care is our team members. So the team members were really appreciative. I remember there was a week that I started to hear that some of our team members ran out of their any saving in their bank, and they are living on credit card. So what we did is we schedule our team member one on one. Then everyone we asked them, "Are you okay? How are you doing?" And if they said they are really struggling financially, we will actually make a financial plan together and then figure out how much you need every month in order to survive and continue your living and pay your rent check. And then once we figure out a number, we will just do the pay raise directly according to that number. So actually, a lot of our team members were really appreciative. They worked really, really hard. And this is how we are able to, pull it through. And then now we survived. And because of vaccination, right now the COVID is getting, more under control, and our business came back, and our team member remain, and we currently have 125% more sales than before. That's like we couldn't even imagine when a year ago we were just trying to survive, right? So I'm very appreciative to everyone and everything what we have right now.
Wow, man,
Mhm.
that is great.
So I think you really, because you weren't able to have all your customers come to you, I think you really had a really great web strategy, right, of reaching your customers. I think Kizuki has a very professional website. It's totally consistent with the brand. You cover all the essential elements well, right? You have your menu, your location, you have about us, and job postings, which I did notice those the pay is actually quite good, so it's it's nice. And then catering and contact and all that, and the call to action, which is the online order. But in addition to that, right, you have this detailed story of your vision, your philosophy, and your history. You have these great pictures of food. It makes me hungry just to look at them. And
Hey,
the
Leslie, can you share those with us? Can we see that? Can you share that screen?
uh, can yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna have to do it some other time.
Okay, no problem.
Yes, you have to go to the Kizuki website. For all the people in the audience, please go to the Kizuki website. It's an amazing website. Um, but you use photos and videos to show all kinds of people actually really enjoying themselves, right? It's really not about ramen as a food, satisfying, hunger, but it's really about ramen making people happy in all kinds of situations. Could you talk a little bit about that, Brandon?
So in our Kisuki vision, um, we surround in one keyword for everybody, which is bring joy. In our vision statement, we specifically talk about bringing moments of joys to our customer, to our team member, and to the societies we serve. We believe in restaurant, the dining experience, it is the moment of joy to which really make people feel satisfied and then they keep coming back. It can be the first bite of a really amazing food you really love, then that moment just got hit, oh my god, it's so good, right? It can be just a really sweet and friendly server who provide you a wonderful dining experience. Then you feel like, wow, this is great, right? I had a long day, but today I came to Kizuki. I had this food and then this service, and I feel like, I'm happy now, right? That's the moments of joy we want to bring to our customer. So, how to make that kind of moments of joy to be in our website, right? This website has to be really emotional, right? So that's why we really put a lot of emphasis on how to provide good pictures that create an emotional moment. Even though our customer cannot really taste our food from the website, but we gotta let them, use their eyes to taste our food, right? So we had our, photographer photos, and we even have our videos. So use this kind of really emotional, delivery tool to communicate with our customers, and then to link with them. To then they will make the decision that, oh wow, after watching this, after going over this website, I really want to visit Kizuki, right? So this is how the idea behind website, and I truly believe that's very very important.
So it's definitely on social media that the action is happening for Kazuki. Brandon, you have close to 90,000 people check out in on Facebook and 8,000 people like and follow your Facebook page. Can you tell us about some of the things that you put on social media? So, what is this free meals for all children? Can you talk a little bit about that?
So free meals for all children, it starts right at the right beginning of the COVID. So when school got shut down. So in Kizuki, there were many team members. They are actually parents. So they would came to me talking about some kids they used to rely on the lunch provided by school, but right now there's no more school, and then that means the source of their lunch, which they used to have, is no longer there available for them. So a lot of parents who were really struggling financially, they had to struggle even further. And then they, even for those underserved or low income family, we feel bad for them. I could feel their panic. I know they didn't know what to do. So we had this program, which is, as long as you tell us you have a child to feed, you know, we will provide free food for you, and no question asked, no any purchase required. Just you come in, you said you would like to have, a few two lunch boxes for your kids, then we will make it happen. We want you to bring the lunch boxes back and then feed your kid. One time I remember it was in West Seattle. So I remember one single mom came in. She left two kids outside of our restaurant in front of our door, because there was dangerous to bring kids into indoor, right? So she came along and then she told us she needs two lunchbox for her children. Okay, then we hurry up, we provided two, and then she took two lunch boxes, and then she went out, and then she took the two kids, and they walked to the side, and in front of our store there was a bench, so they just sit down there and then they started to share. So the two kids had some food, and then I still remember the mom looking through the glass, and then her eyes was full of appreciation. That moment was the moment all of our team members feel touched. We look at each other, and we saw the kids, their happy faces. Yeah, that's all this program is about, right? Feeding the children, and this is the vision of our company. We need to serve our community.
So you gave out thousands of these, right, Brandon?
Yeah.
Okay, and so there's another one, free meals for hospital workers. That's another one that I remember hearing about. Can you tell us a little bit about that one? And
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
So when COVID cases surged, uh, the medical frontline workers, they were very, very overwhelmed. So many patients in the hospital, and they had to work overtime. And even I heard many frontline workers, they actually slept in the hospital because they couldn't leave. All of their time, they just sat busy handling all the demands from all the patients. And then, of course, sometimes I heard they couldn't even shower. They wanted to shower, and then one patient needs something, they ran there, and they wanted to go shower, the other patient needs something. So they were under a lot of stress. Then we feel like, okay, they gotta eat. Then how do we help them so they can eat? If they don't have time, let's help them. Let's deliver food to them. So we started to talk to a few hospitals, and then we told them, hey, Kizuki will come to you. Don't need to go out. We come for you. So they will tell their team member, hey, every Tuesday and Wednesday, Kizuki will be here. They will bring food to us. So that was they told us there was the most uh, like waiting, and this a day they got really happy because they have food coming in. They don't need to go out, and it was delicious. That was how we wanted to help our frontline healthcare team members, right? So during the time, we actually served more than 1,800 bento boxes we delivered to hospitals. And there was just a small gesture for us to show our appreciation for those frontline health workers, how they help the society.
Yeah. So I know that you came up actually with a product during COVID, and that was the ramen kit, right? And actually came through with the interaction with a customer. So how did you come up with this idea?
Yeah. So, in ramen restaurant, a lot of people, they came in for dining. And then they feel like, oh, ramen, you gotta, have a very like popping hot soup. And then when they, started to have the shelter at home, they just, got like out of resources to eat, right? They were tired of, to go in the delivery. They really want to enjoy the restaurant quality level of food. And then that's when we ask ourselves, how do we provide the highest quality possible in our customers' home? Then we came up with this ramen kit. So we actually filmed the instruction, we provide the cooking instruction, and then we taught our customer, hey, with minimum effort, how you can enjoy the master level of ramen in your house. So the ramen kit became a hit. A lot of customers, they started to order, and then mom will cook at home to feed her husband, her children, right? And then the feedback we got is they all went like, mom, why are you so good at making ramen? Why are you so good at cooking? And the moms would just tell them, because mom is a great chef. And this is the joy we want to bring to our customer and the family members, right? So it was very successful.
I just want to say that these are all campaigns that are not marketing campaigns in the traditional sense of the word, but definitely it's a way of creating a community around Kizuki and really making your customers loyal to you. And I know that I am a loyal customer, so I know that it works. So I am going to move on to Anna. Anna, so we'll shift gears and look at the sorry, the very amazing food that is at Salvadorian Bakery. It was started by Ana Castro and Minta Elgin about 25 years ago. Ana and Minta came to the U.S. as immigrants who were escaping war in El Salvador. They worked at jobs at first, but found that their baking was really in demand because the other Salvadorian immigrants really wanted authentic food from their homeland. They started the bakery, and but not able to get funding right away, right, Anna? You really had to. I think Aminta actually had to get a loan on her house in order to start the bakery, but everything has been going pretty good since then, except when COVID hit, right, Anna? So can you tell us what happened when COVID hit?
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm happy to be in this meeting with you. Well, to start, you said what happened with COVID. Um, well, we have been through many things. Running a business is not that easy, especially when you don't know the culture and the environment. But we overcome a lot of issues from the past. But the COVID was something that we were not expecting, and something that hit us very hard. And especially in the White Center area, that I remember that we had to fight that they were going to put some containers for the COVID patients in the area, and we fought for it. I don't know if you guys remember, it was all around the in the news. And so I even called the legislators to stop that. So I was very involved with it, with the community. And it was tough. At the beginning, I thought we're not going to survive because if we close the business, nobody will show up. How can we keep on, maintaining the business and all the employees that we have? We have close to 20 employees, some full-time, some part-times, and my family. And so everyone depend on from the Salvadorian Bakery sales. And then when they say you have to close the seating area, and that was something that, it wasn't that easy to think about all these commotions and emotions that were in our mind at that time. But little by little, we started figuring out how can we, make this work. So we closed the seating area totally. We moved a lot of stuff around the business inside, and we started making signs, and all the sudden, also the first 3 months was the harder ones because the people got scared and everybody got inside their homes and they didn't want to go out. And so the sales were very low. We went, I think, 40% that we didn't have those sales. And but we not only sell food, we are a Latin store, Salvadorian Bakery. We make pupusas, and we have other things that people buy, like spices and the fillings. So we decide that if we're not going to sell food, we're going to sell the ingredients so people can make their own at home. So people start lining up for the fillings of the pupusas and the flour, and it was amazing. I never thought that the little store that we have for the Latin spices and all the ingredients got empty. And we start grinding more pork for the beans, and then cheese. So people used to come and say, I need like 10, 20 pounds of filling, and then they make their own food at home. So takeout was a very good idea. And then we start getting the platforms, the delivery people.
Mhm.
So we got 3 of them, and that helped us to, keep our employees working. We had to let some go, but the majority of them, they didn't lose any hours, and start to getting more, learning how to do more wholesales, and also the community got together because I've been involved a lot with the community around us in White Center and other areas. So there is the name of the Community Development Association. So they got together and start going business to business in White Center and trying to help them and to have an idea how can you let people know that you are here. So they say, Anna, you have to do every day, take a picture or take your own picture with a pastry and put it on social media. And I start doing that, and it did work. And also, they did a website for the area of White Center, so they can share to other communities, so they let them know that we are there and how our business is there, and that we have good food. For the people that don't know Salvadorian food, it's like any other food, food transcends borders. Food is yeah,
Yes, it does.
right. And then that's my feeling that I am open to try any kind of food. This is me. I'm not afraid, because sometimes people think, what if you don't try it, you won't know it. You have to give it a try. So anyway, um, people have helped and come together, and this one of the things that I learned, that when it comes with community, and this was the time that I knew how people overcome when a crisis is there. So we came together, and we are still there now. And now, with all that, we increase our sales. Um, More people have known us, and they come from all around, and not only for our food, because as you know, we have a bakery, we have a very well-known brand of the Tres Leches. Tres Leches is something that we do best when it comes to dessert. It has been very well known. There is a lot of people that say that our Tres Leches is the best. Not, it's not my saying, it's the people that we have customer now that people kind of got tired of this COVID, and there a lot of them, they don't want to follow instruction. But this summer, many people got married or do birthday party, and this past 3 months, every month we sell 1 or 2 wedding cakes. And to just let you know, I deliver one, because sometimes when we don't have help, it has to be 2 people. So I went with the guy to deliver a cake at Chehalis. And, and I went last 3 weeks, we went to Arlington to deliver a wedding cake. And so, but going to the past, and now that I remember, for the shutdown, we have to, a lot of the orders that we had for wedding, they were canceled. So that we lost a lot of money, because I remember now that I had like 3 wedding cakes for, one was for May, and then summer was coming, because the COVID started like between February and March. So for weddings, people have to order like 1 month in advance. So anyway, we have to return people's money because they cancel their parties, their weddings. But this summer, I can see that people start, coming back. the sale for cakes and desserts went up this summer. So, well, I can say that we are persistent, and we don't give up easily, and nothing is easy, but we have to be assertive in anything we do.
Yeah, I can attest to the tres leche cake because prior to lockdown, we used to order a huge one every year for our alumni celebration. And people actually came to the celebration so they could have the cake. So it's absolutely excellent cake. And so, just like Kizuki, right? Salvadorian Bakery, actually, you increased your web presence a lot, Anna, right, during lockdown. Your your website, you went on with all the essentials again, all the things that everybody needs to know when they come to your business, and again you added the delivery, right, which was something that became more important during lockdown. So that was also something that was very good that happened. So so there's been a lot of stories written about Salvadorian Bakery over the years, and I think you've had really good public relations. And so, just like you let people know that you were still open as a business by posting pictures all the time on social media, these stories that people wrote about you, I think you keep them alive also by putting them on social media. Is that right, Anna?
Yes, and that's the other thing that I can say, that with this pandemic, it has teach us a lot in many ways, because it taught us how to do business online. I'm not an expert with computer or anything like that, but it made me learn from scratch. I didn't know a lot. When the Salvadorian Bakery started, I used to use just pen and paper to do invoices, to do a lot of things, to go buy and do shopping. Now I have to do everything. We have to order through a computer everything that we buy, or a lot of part of the sales also we do online. And so now we fix, we renew the website, but also we bought a new equipment. The point of sale is we bought it last year, so we have our own website that you can order through there, and then you can just come and pick it up. And also, yeah, so we have to reinvent in order for us to survive.
So just like Brandon, you actually really shine on social media too, and I know you use a lot of Instagram because those gorgeous pictures of all those cakes. It's really great, and I noticed that on social media you're able to interact with your customers in Spanish, which might be a great benefit. Can you talk a little bit about that, Anna?
Yes, indeed, and that's the other thing, because here at the Salvadorian Bakery, you have to be bilingual, or you must be bilingual, because we have, let's say 50% the people Hispanic, and 50% Americans. So we have to really speak in our language. So that is very important to me, so our people can feel comfortable. When you are born like me with my own language, if somebody come and explain to me in my language, I will be more comfortable. So, but yeah, we people call us directly, and I even have people that have how we call you on Messenger now. All these, choices that we can call you. Latin America, we use WhatsApp. I don't know if you know about that one, and that one is free also. And so, yeah, and it's amazing. I'm very proud of myself, and I'm very proud of what we have accomplished, because in my mind, I never thought that we will be doing what we do now. in many ways. And I mean, helping and doing what we used to do, what we love to do, because food is how we grew up. My grandmother used to be a baker, and my mom taught us how to do the best tamales in the region and baking. My aunts were bakers. And my going back in El Salvador, growing back in El Salvador, my grandfather make a big brick oven in the yard of the house. And I remember that festivity, all the neighbors used to come and use the oven back then, many years ago. They were not microwave. We had to do everything on the stone. And that's how we grew up. So it seems like baking and food is our genes. We have that in our blood. Because coming here to US, I remember that when I was working in the years past, and my sister Aminta say, Anna, why don't we do what we used to do in El Salvador? And I say, how? How can we do it here? We don't know how. We don't know where to go. And but I used to work in many different areas. I work in hotels, and then I work at hospital for many years. But then I won't complain about the pay, but it's nothing that doing what you like or love to do. And also, it not only because you like or love to do, is that in a way you help other people. And the Salvadoran food here in Seattle, nobody knew then. We were the first Salvadorian to open a Salvadorian business. And now there is more, but we were the have to break the ice here with our food. I remember people come and say, what's pupusa? And at time I got tired of explaining pupusa, blah, 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 masa, tortilla, you cook it, blah, blah, blah. But now they don't ask me anymore. People know us now. People know what pupusa is, because pupusa is like a sort of people relate the pupusas, they related with gorditas, or with arepa, which is Colombian, and the gordita is a Mexican. And when I remember, people used to come and say, can I have a gordita? And I used to tell them pupusa. But then I got to say, okay, how many gorditas? So, but we are very proud that I mean, we will be in history that we were the first to introduce the Salvadorian food here in the area. I mean, the whole Washington state. And so here we still are providing this uh, emotional and good food, because food, like Brandon said, is not just to for fuel your hunger, but also for fuel your soul and make you happy. A lot of the Salvadorian people, when they used to come or still come at the bakery, they feel that they are in a little place of El Salvador. I remember one young guy came from Bellingham, and he entered the Salvadorian, because the way we have decorated, like you feel that you are in El Salvador. He come inside and said, oh, he went like this and said, I feel that I am in El Salvador. So that made me feel happy and emotional. So
Yeah, thank you very much, Anna. That was just amazing. And definitely your brand is authentic, right? But not just in terms of the authenticity of the food, but in terms of the feeling. So that's amazing. So I am so happy you're part of our greater Seattle scene.
thank
Okay,
you.
so we're gonna thank you so much, Anna. Now we come to a long-standing business leader in our community, Mr. Lewis Rudd, who co-founded Azelle 37 years ago. I've known Lewis for decades for his involvement with advocating for minority business enterprises, and he's just an amazing person. He's going to tell a little bit about his most recent initiative in the end with Black businesses, but I'm going to let him tell you about it. So thank you for your work, Lewis. I know you've not just inspired businesses, but you've inspired individuals who worked at Azal's and said, their lives were turned around. And also, I've seen students' eyes light up when they hear you talk. And so I know that you're doing setting a lot of fires out there to get people out to do stuff. So can you tell us a little bit about Azal's brand, Louis? What were you trying to communicate to the customer?
For sure, Leslie, and thank you for having me here today. And man, it's going to be hard to follow up behind Brandon and Anna. Man, it inspires me to hear your stories, to continually to do more and raise up, But I'm proud of you guys and your accomplishments and great stories, and the legacy that you guys are building is great. So Easels started out, a dream between two childhood friends back in East Texas, where we worked at a place called Brown's Fried Chicken, and the dream began. And we would go into the military, Ezel in the Coast Guard, me in the Army. We would migrate and end up here in Seattle. And started out as a family-owned and operated business with my sister Faye and my brother Darnell, and then Ezel's brother Samuel, the five of us. And it took 5 years from the beginning of the process here in Seattle to get the financing to get the restaurant open. And when we opened it, it was with the idea of having a world-class brand. So the vision, the mission, and the value statement started out with the vision to have a world-class brand. And how are we going to do that? It was starting out with providing fresh, high-quality chicken with good homemade side dishes served up with fast, courteous service. And then our value statement was honesty, loyalty, and relationships. And understanding that if we always gave great value to our guests, they would always come back, right, for the value proposition. So we started out again with great product, great customer service. And of course, we were very active in the community from day one. And when people come in, they could taste the love in the product, right? And that's what a lot of people would come in and they would say, man, I love this chicken. I love this chicken. And there was just so much love. And then the energy in the air and the culture that we built around the product. And I've heard the word authenticity, right? Being authentic. And so having that fresh chicken, we always use larger pieces. So instead of cutting a smaller bird into 9 pieces, we use a larger bird that we cut into 8 pieces. And so there was more bang for the buck, more value for the dollar. And then we had these fresh homemade rolls that we baked fresh daily on the premises. And people would walk in and they would smell that bread coming out of the ovens, and squirt of honey and a little dab of butter on that roll. And then the potatoes, we always peeled the potatoes for the mashed potatoes and gravy, no instant potatoes. It was always real potatoes. The potato salad made fresh. Today, we've got 17 locations, and each location we've been able to transfer that culture into that concept of where each location, the ingredients are made fresh daily right there at each location on the premises. And that's been very important. And from day one, we've had just great support from the community, and they came in and appreciated the value that we were bringing into the community. And we appreciate the support that we've gotten from the community over the years.
So, oops, sorry. Oops.
That's
So
okay.
you actually, sorry about that.
Speaking about community.
Yeah, speaking of community, I know you started, so I know it's hard to go back because you've been so successful over all these years, but if going back to 1984, when you started Azal's, it was a little bit of a challenge. So Louis, can you tell us how some pretty prominent members of the communities kind of came in and actually helped?
Well, there's just so many great stories of, support from the community and different ones in the community. And again, when we open up on February 3rd, 1984, it was a Friday afternoon. They had what they call bubbling brown sugar going on over at Garfield High School. And that was an event where they had participants from Cleveland High School, Franklin High School, Roosevelt High School, Garfield, Rainier Beach. Students came from all over for a dance competition. So we were able to introduce the product to students from all across the city and around, right? And so from the beginning, we've had support from the high school community and then the colleges. But, there was times when we'd have the Sonics players sitting in the lobby. When we first opened up on 23rd and Jefferson, we had seating. We had 3 tables. We could seat up to 12. And you could walk in there and find a couple of Seahawks players sitting there. And we actually had concession stands at the Kingdom. And during baseball season, sometime Ken Griffey Jr. would send his wife up actually to bring chicken down for some of the players. And then there was a time when there was a production going on with King 5 and Oprah Winfrey was in town. And this is a story that got us actually placed on the map, I would say. She called up and she wanted to have some chicken. And we delivered her chicken on a Saturday. She enjoyed it so much that she actually had chicken delivered again on Sunday. And this was the year that she went without all of her favorite foods. When she was on a diet, she ended up running a marathon. Well, her business manager wanted to provide her with some of her favorite foods that she had gone without during the time that she was on a diet. So they called up and wanted to know if we would ship some chicken back to Chicago. We did better. We actually flew chicken and ingredients and side dishes and rolls back, and we prepared the chicken on site in Chicago at a restaurant called Eccentrics. And we delivered enough chicken and sides and rolls over to Harpo Studios to feed 75 people at Harpo Studios in Chicago. And of course, we took the sweet potato pie back there, which was also one of her favorites. So, I mean, the list goes on and on. I remember George Foreman called up, the heavyweight boxer, right? And he was at a local hotel and he was here for a bout. And I took him an 8-piece and he sat right there at the table with some wine and he ate the whole 8-piece bucket. But yes, it's been many celebrities and others that have come through. And again, we appreciate all of our community support that we've gotten over the years from local organizations, CAYA back in the days, Camp, Central Area Motivation Program, youth programs out there serving the kids, but lots of celebrities over the years.
Yeah, I think that Oprah story, oh my gosh, and it's still out there on the web. So that's a good thing about it.
Mhm.
You also have quite a social media presence as well with your Facebook, and instead of resting on your laurels, I know you've given back. So the community has helped you, but you've definitely given back to the community in huge
Yeah.
ways. And you spoke out, advocating for the Black community, talking about the 3 R's: racism, redlining, and recession. And that's still so relevant today because we still have racism, we still have redlining, and definitely the COVID recession, hopefully that we're out of, is still in play today. So as a senior statesperson for businesses, you're trying to create more opportunities for Black businesses. So could you tell us a little bit about the DoorDash initiative that actually happened during COVID? So talk about DoorDash and how how that became really big during COVID, and then what happened after that.
Well, fortunately for us, we were amongst the blessed that when the pandemic hit, our sales trend did not go down. And we had a concept and a model that was pretty much built for the circumstances that came with the pandemic, and that our orders were 80% to go to begin with. And a year and a half prior to the pandemic, we had partnered with DoorDash as a third-party delivery service. And so we were doing really well. And during the time that the George Floyd murder and the protests, and there was a lot of attention and awareness throughout the country and across the continent, right? Where people was just aware and wanted to do something to make a difference and support minority-owned businesses and do something to address systemic racism and social inequalities and so forth and so on. And that was an initiative with a lot of companies and big corporations to support minority-owned businesses, people of color, BIPOC community. And so DoorDash reached out to us and wanted to do a promotional campaign to where they can help increase our sales as a Black-owned business and minority-owned business. And because we were actually doing well, I asked if there was an opportunity for us to divert those funds to businesses that were not able to do as well during the pandemic as Eastside was doing. And being in the community and in touch with the community, I was aware of, several small Black-owned businesses that were not doing well, and a couple that we actually supported to help keep their doors open. And so 3 months into conversations with our rep from DoorDash, we had come up with an opportunity to create an initiative where DoorDash would utilize the funds that they were going to promote Easels with to launch this initiative to support Black-owned businesses. And we call it the RUB Initiative. And we launched it 2 weeks ago. The application process opened up. And during this time, the grants we're giving out to start with 20 grants for $2,500 each. And there are no strings attached, and fill out the applications and we will review them. And then there will be 20 grants given out. And there were questions around, do you think $2,500 is really going to make a difference for a small business? And how many businesses out there could really benefit from it? Well, we thought we might get 75 to 100 applications. We got well over 500 applications from businesses out there. And I use the example of the food truck owner out there that, to no fault of his own or her own, they had to shut down their business because there was no crowd gatherings. They couldn't go out and make money. And the source of revenue from the food was their only source of revenue for the business and for the operator. So now when it's time, things are opening back up, they get moisture in the gas tank. So now the truck won't start or the generator won't start. To be able to provide maintenance for the truck, to get it running is the only source of revenue. To have $2,500 to put towards maintaining or preparing the truck for operations again is a huge deal. And there's other examples like that, but we felt compelled as a family-owned business and the family feeling, the love that we've gotten from the community. This was just a small thing that we could do to help the community that has been there for us since the beginning. We open up.
Wow, that's an amazing story. I'm just amazed by our whole panel here and what you've done in in an environment that's really really been challenging for a lot of businesses. So I just want to summarize that not one of the companies on our panel had fancy digital strategies, right? They didn't use algorithms or interactive stuff, right? Much of what they do is really to amplify their interaction with customers, right? So that customers know what is possible. They're telling their story, but they have to keep that story alive, like Anna does, right? By posting beautiful pictures of cakes every week. They also believe in their community, right? Because their community is really their customer. So there's a real hunger for these businesses, right? It's not just because they serve fabulous food. We need the economy to recover. We need people to come out and be together. We need people to trust each other again. So people, that people remember that you were there when they were down, right? They remember that. And then that's how you build trust with your customers. So I just want to thank our panelists, our superstar CEOs, Brandon, Anna, and Louis. It's just, I hear your stories. I've heard them before, and I hear them every time I learn something new. It makes me feel joy, joy and happiness. You definitely know how to do that, to see these things happening. So I just want everybody to know that our next session is Google. So please go back to the lobby and go into session 3, and you'll be able to see another great presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Leslie.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Safe travels and congratulations again, Brandon.
Thank you, Louis. I'll see you around.
Yeah, we'll be seeing you around. We have to get together sometime and exchange food.
Yeah.
Anna, you bring the cake.
Yeah, Anna, you have to bring the cake. Okay, thank you all. So I'm going to shut down the session, and thank you so much.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Anna.
We have to exchange food.
Bye, Anna.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You stop by at the bakery.
I'm coming this Sunday, Anna. Are you going to be around Sunday?
I'll be there.
Okay.
Yeah, supposedly I get off on Saturdays. And small business